Hi students. Thank you to watch this video. Here I am going to teach you about embedded system. First we will see about the computer. Computer system is a combination of central processing unit, monitor, keyboard and mouse. Central processing unit is having the main processor which is going to work according to your need. It is able to get the inputs from the keyboard, mouse, or other input devices. Processor is converting the collected data into useful outputs. Processing consists of executing calculations, comparison of data and analysis. Then finally it will produce the output through monitor, printer, or other output devices. Now we are going to see about embedded system. Any sort of device which includes a programmable computer but itself is not intended to be a general-purpose computer. For example, consider the digital camera. It is programmable computer. It is not a general-purpose computer. Digital camera consider as a special-purpose computer, which means application-specific. It is ready to capturing the images. It is not doing computer's job like calculation, Word document, exploring the internet works. How many do we use? Average middle-class American home has 40 to 50 embedded processors in it. Microwave, washer, dryer, dishwasher, TV, VCR, stereo, hair dryer, coffee maker, remote control, heater, toys, etc. Luxury cars have over 60 embedded processors. Brakes, steering, windows, locks, ignition, dashboard displays, transmission, mirrors, etc. Personal computers have over 10 embedded processors. Graphics accelerator, mouse, keyboard, hard drive, CD-ROM, bus interface, network card, etc. Typical embedded systems are designed to observe, through sensors, and control something, through actuators. Air condition senses room temperature and maintains it at set temperature via thermostat. Processors. Normally microprocessors we are using for PC. Embedded processors or microcontrollers for embedded systems. Infinite loop. This is an important feature of embedded system. An infinite loop, sometimes called an endless loop, is a piece of coding that lacks a functional exit so that it repeats indefinitely. In computer programming, a loop is a sequence of instructions that is continually repeated until a certain condition is reached. Typically, a certain process is done, such as getting an item of data and changing it, and then some condition is checked, such as whether a counter has reached a prescribed number, which typically goes on until the program terminates automatically after a certain duration of time, or the operating system terminates the program with an error. Role of the infinite loop. The infinite loop is necessary because the embedded software's job is never done. It is intended to be run until either the world comes to an end or the board is reset, whichever happens first. Most embedded systems have only one piece of software running on them, and although the hardware is important, if the software stops running, the hardware is rendered useless. Host and target machine. Application program are typically developed, compiled, and run on host system. Host is computer system on which all programming tools are run. Once program has been written, compiled, assembled, and linked, it is moved to target. Embedded tools. Compiler, assembler, linker and locator, debugger, emulator, simulator. Now we are going to see about compiler. A software program that converts source code that written in high-level programming language into low-level language. Compiler classified into two types. First one is native compiler. Second one is cross-compiler. A native compiler runs on a computer platform and produces code for that same computer platform. A cross-compiler runs on one computer platform and produces code for another computer platform. Now we are going to see about assembler. An assembler is software program that converts source code written in assembly language into machine language. The input to the assembler must be assembly language. An assembler that runs on host but produces binary instruction appropriate for target is called cross-assembler. Now we are going to see about linker. A linker or link editor is a program that takes one or more objects generated by compilers and assembles them into a single executable program or a library that can later be linked to in itself. All of the object files resulting from compiling must be combined in a special way before the program can be executed. Now we are going to see about locating. The tool that performs the conversion from relocatable program to executable binary image is called a locator. It takes responsibility for the easiest step of the build process. In fact, you have to do most of the work in this step yourself, by providing information about the memory on the target board as input to the locator. The locator uses this information to assign physical memory addresses to each of the code and data sections within the relocatable program. For example, host machine generating the code from the starting address 2000. But target machine actual starting address is 100. Now the locator compose the final code with the starting address is 100, which means it is equivalent with target machine's starting address. It then produces an output file that contains a binary memory image that can be loaded into the target. Now we are going to see about debugger. A debugger or debugging tool is a computer program that is used to test and debug other programs. The code to be examined might alternatively be running on an instruction set simulator. Debugger can be classified into two types. Source-level debugger. Low-level debugger. When the program crashes, the debugger shows the actual position in the original code if it is a source-level debugger. If it is a low-level debugger or a machine language debugger, it shows that line in the program. Now we are going to see about emulator. An emulator is a piece of hardware or software that enables one computer system to run programs that are written for another computer system. For example, there is a Commodore 64 emulator for the iPhone which allow you to run games that written for the iPhone. An emulator is used on the target processor, the processor for which the program is being written. Now we are going to see about simulator. A machine with a similar set of controls designed to provide a realistic imitation of the operation of a vehicle, aircraft, or other complex system, used for training purposes. A program enabling a computer to execute programs written for a different operating system. Simulator is a piece of hardware or software that simulates another system. For example, a flight simulator allows you to experience what it is like to fly an aircraft, a driving simulator to experience driving, etc. Simulator tests the program on the development processor, the processor on which we are working. Thanks for watching this video.